Good evening and welcome back to the Coach Mac Show. I'm Adam Bell along with head coach Rich McCorder. Coach finally got a real one in Friday night in Brantley County. We usually go over the offense first, but I'd like to go over the defense first this time if you don't mind. Yeah, 16 yards rushing. I know you have, here I have the stats for you that you sent to me earlier. But 16 yards rushing on the defense, that is fantastic.
It really is. We felt like our defensive front could be better this year, and our defensive line all have experience, starting experience as sophomores a year ago. All of our linebackers have all played quite a bit a year ago, so we felt like that group could be a lot better. Someone I'd really like to point out would be Travis Ray, junior, inside linebacker, number 15. I thought Travis Ray had the best football game he's had since he's been with us, since he's been in the program as a starter. Travis is really playing his technique real well, doing a great job. I can keep going on and on, but he ended up with 5.5 tackles, which the way we do tackles is we just don't give you a tackle for being around the football at the end of the play. You've got to make the tackle to receive it, and I know some schools will say their kid had a lot of tackles when in reality it wasn't as many as maybe they've said, but he did a great job. Really pleased with the job he did. Our defensive line all had Eric Daniels from the linebacker position had a sack on a blitz, and then both of our defensive ends, Preston Lynch and Daniel Mack, each had sacks. Really excited by them. And then Saquon Clark had an interception. He's a sophomore defensive back. And then Devin Chastain, which we'll talk more about Devin in a little bit for our senior spotlight. But Devin had a fumble recovery. But a great job on run defense for us. But then you turn over the pass defense, it was really just the opposite. We gave up the 3 touchdowns in our passing game. Our pass defense was not very good. They had, as far as throwing the ball, they had 223 yards passing. That's not good at all. That's way too many. I felt we got to get better in the secondary. We know that. We've got to, not only in pass coverage, but in tackling. A lot of them were short passes, screen passes, even tunnel screens that our defensive backs did a poor job blocking. So the coverage wasn't as bad. It was the tackling more than anything that gave up the yards. But again, run defense, excellent job. Real excited about them, and really hopefully they even get better and we stay a very good run stopping defense.
I know the defense, that front group, the defensive line and the linebackers just flying all over the place. At least the first scrimmage game and the Brantley game, it seems like they're attacking, like they're faster this year.
They are. They're bigger, they're stronger, and that's what we're really emphasizing. Coach Norris Woods, our defensive line coach, he was an all-state. Actually, he was defensive state player of the year his senior year in high school. He played defensive line. He knows how it's supposed to be done, how it's supposed to look, and he's really pushing those guys to be explosive on the defensive line and to play all over the field, not just in an area, but to play all over the field. And he's doing a great job getting that out of him, and I'm really excited about hopefully their continued development.
On the offensive side of the ball, had a big night spreading the ball around again like we did against Pierce. A lot of different targets. Yeah. Seems like we covered the same real estate a few times Friday night, but overall, good night.
And we were committing a lot of penalties out there, it seemed like, but looking at them, most of them were obvious. A few of them we wondered about, but AJ had a good night throwing the football. He threw it for 174 yards, 15 completions, which is really great night throwing the football. It's about what we need to have and expect to have. He hit, I believe, 6 different targets. And that's great. I mean, you look at it, you know about Raekwon Anderson being a great football player and a college prospect, and he is. But the big receiver of the night was, without a doubt, Brantley Sloan. Brantley's just has done an awesome job for us. Brantley was a guy that when he entered high school, thought of himself as a basketball-only guy. But now I think he thinks of himself as a football, basketball, and tennis guy, which I'm excited about that. He's a 4.0 student. Just what it's really all about being a high school student athlete. That's Brantley Sloan. He had 5 catches. He averaged 10 yards a catch and 2 touchdowns. So just a tremendous job by Brantley Sloan. Also, Brantley had some key blocks downfield and on the edge also. But on Saquon Anderson's touchdown, Brantley was out there leading the way and did just a great job blocking. So Brantley really was the big standout guy, I thought, on the offensive side of the ball. Also on the offensive side of the ball, we didn't have a lot of yards rushing. AJ, he led us in rushing, which our style of offense, it's not all bad that your quarterback gets a lot of running yards because we have a lot of design runs for the quarterback in our spread offense. He had 109 yards on 17 carries, but I felt like our 2 starting running backs, our 2 top running backs, Eric Daniels and Michael Elliott, although between them they almost got 100 yards, but I thought that what they did was they ran a lot harder than I've seen them run in the past, and that's what we're really looking for out of those 2, and so real pleased with that. So offensive side of the ball, I think guys that you really got to be excited about are Brantley Sloan. Did a great job coming up with some big catches. Devin Snowden had three huge catches for us. AJ got the ball to 6 different receivers, plus ran for over 100 yards himself. And our running backs, Eric Daniels and Michael Elliott, ran the ball hard, I thought. I thought the offensive line played better than we've seen entirely last year. I think that group last Friday played better than what we saw the previous year. But again, at that position, we need some more development at the offensive line position so we become even a stronger run football team.
I know it was a lot of fun. Big crowd. I tell you what, we had a big crowd up there Friday night. I don't know if you got a chance to turn around and maybe look at the visitor stands, but I mean, from one end to the Band of Pride, it was packed.
Yeah, I try not to look up in the stands and in case somebody was throwing something at me or something, but also I definitely don't hear anything from up there, which is good sometimes, but I do understand the place was just completely packed on both sides, which that's really great because that's what high school football in the Southeast Georgia is all about. I mean, yeah, big crowds, communities. Basically what it was the Charlton County community going up to Nahunta and packing their side, and in Brantley County, them supporting their team and packing their side. That's what you really see in South Georgia all the time. And I think this Friday night, I think our people will pack our side. This is going to be a much tougher football game. We've really got to pick it up. This is a playoff 3A football team. So much higher classification we are. We need to really play hard to have a chance. But I know we'll have a huge vocal crowd, which we look forward to that.
Going back a little bit to the stats, special teams, can't leave those guys out. Raquan had another huge night returning punts and kicks Friday versus Brantley.
Yeah, Raquan, his kickoff returns, he returned 3 kickoffs for 120 yards total, which is outstanding. Averaged 40 yards every time he touched it. That's really big. What we're going to get is people, of course, are going to do everything they can to kick it away from him. They started doing that Friday night, kicking it away from him. But he's a good enough athlete where he still would come up and pick it up and take off running and so forth. And plus we played games with him and moving him around a little bit, trying to still get him the ball. And people are going to start kicking off away from him, which means we're going to have pretty good field position just by them not kicking it deep to him. But again, we still want to get the ball in his hands any way we can. Every time he touches it, we have a chance to change the scoreboard, and that's what we want to do. On punt returns, I don't know if we had any punt return for us. I think we caught most of them. We did have one punt return that got called back for a penalty. AJ had 2 punts for an average of 30 yards, which is a little bit better than his last outing. Hopefully we can creep that up to close to 35-yard average. But I was really pleased with the return yards were 0, which means our coverage is really good. I'm really proud of the guys getting down. I think we have Michael Elliott out there at one gunner, and then you have Devin Snowden at the other gunner going down, and they're getting down there clean, and they're able to break down and not let the guy have any return yardage. So that's really big for us. So it'd be even better if we get a little bit more distance out of the punt, since we're doing such a great job covering on that.
And over on the PAT side of things, Tyler Chester's doing a pretty good job. His first time kicking this year.
He really is. We're really lucky to have Tyler Chester out there with us. He's going to end up turning into a specialist for us, which is so important. You remember the last 3 years, almost 4 years with Tomcat out there. It's a big part of the game. We need those extra points, and he did a good job. He missed a couple, but again, we feel comfortable that he's going to develop. I know today he was out there with Coach Brooks fixing a few things that he had trouble with last Friday, and he looked really good today. And I think each and every week you're going to see Tyler just get better and better at kicking the football, to where I was talking to Coach Brooks today, and I said we need to get him also thinking if we need a 20, 25-yard field goal off either hash, we think we can do it. And we're going to get to that point to where I see him not just kicking extra points, being just about automatic on that. I see him getting to the point to where he is he's going to put some field goals through for us. And he's a junior, so he's got all this year and all next year. And by the time he graduates, I think he'll be a really good kicker for this program.
I know as his leg gets stronger and he gets used to the form and everything. I know a couple of times Friday we had the ball inside the 20 where we went for it on fourth. But as he gets stronger in that leg and gets more accurate, I think those will probably be field goal situations.
It did.
As we move on.
It did come up a couple times on the sideline when we got down there. I talked to Coach Brooks and I says, "Where do you feel comfortable about him kicking?" And he was honest with me. He said, "Listen, right now I think we need to get the ball just has to be inside the 20 for me to feel comfortable with it." So, but that's the same thing where it was with Tomcat. It kept getting further and further out, as he continued to develop, to where we trusted him with a 25, 30, 35-yard field goal, and even up to a 40-yard field goal, which he had a couple of those. So it's going to come, it's going to happen, and we're excited about what he's bringing to this football team. And he's one of those guys where he just the kids love him, and we're really happy he's out there doing that for us. I know he's got some shoulder trouble, or he might be playing some other spots for us a little bit, but he may end up being so valuable to this team that we might push him more in that direction of just a kicker. But we'll see how that works out.
Let's see, Friday night, we had the special, what was it I was going to get on? Oh, the senior spotlight. I want to do the senior spotlight right now. We're going to do, if you don't mind, Coach, let's do Montrell Henderson. Comes in at 5'9", 145 pounds. You have him listed as a wide receiver and defensive back.
Montrell's been a program guy. He's been with us all through junior high. Montrell just lives right down the street from the field house here, so I can remember him being around from when he was really young. He's a kid that does everything in the weight room. He's a kid that also, in track, he really does a great job in the track program. In practice, the thing I really appreciate about Montrell is in practice, he's going to give you everything he has every day. He's going to give us a good look in practice, and that's something we really need. And he's going to get some opportunities in games throughout the season to help us on special teams and at wide receiver. But right now, he is so valuable to this program for what he brings Monday through Wednesday on that practice field, giving us a look. And so we really appreciate everything Montrell does for us.
He seems to be a nice young man. He's quiet. He's quiet. I've tried to start a conversation with him at time with you, and he'll say, "Hey," or
yeah, he's a quiet kid.
Good young man.
The kids really like him, and he's really a great kid, and I know he feels comfortable around all of us. And yeah, he's very quiet. He's a very nice kid to be around.
All right. Congratulations, Montrell Henderson, your senior spotlight. And coming up after the break, we will have number 23, Devin Chastain will be our other senior spotlight when we come back, Coach.
Sure.
Folkestone Auto Supply, located at 4439 2nd Street North in Folkestone, Georgia, is owned and operated by the Dasher family. They have everything you need, bumper to bumper, for domestic and foreign car parts. Big truck operators, they have you covered as well with belts, seals, hoses, welding supplies, and so much more. They even have lawnmower parts, blades, and accessories. Stop by today and see the whole crew. Miss Joe, Pam, Little Sammy, Stephen, Dylan, and Big Sammy himself. It's Folkestone Auto Supply.
Folkestone Pharmacy and Electronics, located at 3885 Main Street in the heart of downtown Folkestone. They're Folkestone's original hometown pharmacy with 49 years serving the community. They have everything you need, including household items, prescription medications, high-tech electronics, and much more. Their experienced and friendly staff in the pharmacy and electronics department are ready to serve you. Folkestone Pharmacy and Electronics is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sports. Go Indians! Since 2009, Southeastern Automotive Group has been buying for and selling to most of the franchise dealerships in the area. What if you were able to bypass the big dealerships with the big markups? Buy direct from the supplier. Save thousands of dollars on your next vehicle purchase. Have a trade-in? No problem. With used vehicles in such high demand, Southeastern Automotive Group has dealers ready to buy your trade. If Southeastern Automotive Group doesn't have the perfect vehicle for you, using their vehicle locator program, they will have it shipped in without any hassle or haggling you hate. With over hundreds of thousands of cars available at auctions across the nation, your next vehicle purchase is just a click away.
All right, welcome back to the Coach Mack Show. For our second segment, the senior spotlight coming in the second segment is number 23, Devin Chastain, Coach.
Devin's been a guy that's been with us from the very beginning of his career, junior high on through high school. He's great in the weight room, does a nice job in the classroom, just one of those guys that, never no problems for anybody, but comes to work every day. And he's also this year, as a senior, has really shown some leadership, has spoken up in the weight room, has really spoken up in practice, trying a lot of encouragement to his teammates. Last Friday night he had a tackle and a half, and he had a fumble recovery. He's on all of our special team units. He's also provides some backup at running back. I think his pass blocking ability and his pass receiving ability is really good from the running back position. And also on defense, he's a guy that can really go play all the linebacker spots if needed. But right now he's great team leader, does a great job on special teams, great job in the weight room, and really a great representative to our program all around the school. So really proud of Devin and congratulate him on his senior year, and hopefully he has a great one.
And Devin and AJ, they like the video games. Devin will come over to the house sometimes, stay a couple of days, and they're hitting those thumb wars.
Yeah, I bet. A lot of them are like that, huh?
All right, Coach. It's Applin week this week. We've got Applin County squad coming to town Friday night, 7:30. They're going through the same thing we went through 2 years straight with rain-out games. I believe they actually had to pay a fine Friday night, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Is They're supposed to play Vidalia. That's a huge rivalry game, a non-region game. They had lightning and they couldn't get it in on Friday. So I guess GHSA expected them to turn around and play it Saturday or Monday. But bottom line is play it no matter what. I think what GHSA is pretty much saying is you're going to play the game, irregardless if it's got to be the next week, you're going to play it. Last year we had 2 football games that were weathered out. We had the tropical storm and the hurricane went by and we were unable to play this game a year ago. And also we tried to schedule Camden in mid-season on our open date, and that didn't work either. So I didn't really know that they were going to do that, and I don't think they knew they were going to do that, but I guess GHSA wants everything played, even non-region, no matter what the conditions, you're going to play it. And I know that last Friday when we're playing our game, you look off to the north, you saw some lightning far away from us, and I kept sitting there thinking, the last thing you want to do is to come home, somewhat unpack, and turn around the very next morning, put it all packed, and go right back and play a game. We've done that before in a scrimmage a long time ago, and it was awful. It takes a lot to pack up your program and all the kids and get on the road, even for a short distance like Brantley County, only about 25 miles up the road. And I can understand in non-region games, say, hey, let's just move on our schedule to the next week and go move on from it. But because it is awfully hard to get your kids ready to play twice in 1 week when they're all ready to go on Friday, and you got to tell them we're not playing, but we're turning around, we're going to play in the morning or the next day. It's really tough to get your guys ready to do that. So I understand why they didn't do it, and but I'm kind of surprised there was a fine with that now, but I think they were surprised too. Appleton County is more of a run-oriented football team. They're very big and physical on both lines of scrimmage. A lot of skilled guys. They're definitely a playoff 3A team. A big roster, much bigger roster than what we have. It's going to be a real challenge, but I expect our kids to be able to step up and play people like this. Like I told our kids back in the winter, we're going to lift the weights the same as any classification in the state. We're going to lift the weights the same or better than anybody in the country. That's just what we believe in. So as far as being prepared, that shouldn't be a problem physically. Although, we are going to have some mismatches in height and weight, and we're going to have some mismatches when it comes to depth. But again, I expect our kids to go out and play hard and expect to win and play to win. Coach John Lindsay, his first year there, he was up and around the Atlanta area the past few years, and he was over in Irwin and Cook County before that. Coach Lindsay just does an awesome job of getting his kids ready to play. The little bit of film we saw, you see a very, very well-coached, disciplined football team, and that comes from Coach Lindsay. And then you see a lot of really good athletes and a lot of good size, really playing hard. So I think it's going to be a hard-fought football game. I told our kids after the game Friday that every game we play may be just like this one. We may be in a halftime and it's going to be almost tied up. You're going to come out second half, you're going to have to really grind, and then the fourth quarter will be decided. Friday night, our game wasn't decided till really towards the second half of the fourth quarter. And we had to really play hard for a long time, and I was really proud of the way our kids did that. And hopefully they understand that that's the way it may be each and every week throughout this year.
Do they have players on the offensive side of the ball that you're concerned about? I mean, I don't know that much about Appleton. Do they have like a...
Well, they run an option attack. They've got just great athletes at all the positions. Their quarterback is related to Coach Pender, Coach David Pender, our defensive coordinator, defensive back coach. I think that might be his nephew by marriage, and so he's familiar with him. He's a great athlete. He's a college athlete is what he is. I know David said that he's had a lot of colleges ask about him. I know David took him and a few of our other guys, and I know you guys went. He was supposed to have went with them up to Purdue to see them, and so we're going to be facing some guys that can really go. Linebackers, we're going to see a lot better athlete at linebackers, a lot bigger player. On the defensive line, they have some guys that have the height and speed and length. So it's going to be a much more physical football game, I think. So we've got to be ready for that and accept that challenge.
It's going to be a little bit old school football Friday night.
It could be. They're going to run it at us and run the option and move the ball that way. Probably after looking at us, they're probably going to want to think they can throw the football, which they probably can, because we haven't proven we can defend the pass in the last 2 years. So we've got to get better there also.
And Friday night, our first home game of the season, looking for that big atmosphere here. I mean, if the fans that showed up in Brantley for us Friday night showed up here, we're going to have a packed house Friday night.
It'd be great. Our kids were talking about that, how the crowd was just outstanding, and I hope that it's the same way this Friday. I'm sure it will be. I think Appleton County will probably bring a lot of people. Their band is directed from Jonathan Hickok's, born and raised right here in Folkestone, Georgia. He's their band director. He worked under Dr. John Larsey when he was a band director here. He was one of his students, and so there's a lot of familiarity as far as some of the people that live there. So I know our bands are excited about going against one another, but I think our football team's excited from last Friday night to be back playing, and I know they're excited to get back on the field this Friday.
Well, Coach, we look forward to seeing you Friday night. I know let's take a walk around the schedule. The Braves are on the road tomorrow. I believe they go to Yulee.
Yep, they go to Yulee. It's a good group. Hopefully we'll have some people who might go over there and watch them. And then our B team, hopefully weather allows us. B team, we're going to host Brantley County here this Thursday at 5 o'clock. So hopefully we'll have a nice crowd come out here to the Swamp at 5 o'clock Thursday. For that, tomorrow over here at the Maidens field, we got softball, region softball I know going on. So I look for us getting through with our practice and having a good day at practice, and I'm going to go over there and watch them, and that's always a lot of fun to watch high school fast pitch softball, especially our girls who do a great job at it. And so hopefully we'll have a big crowd here tomorrow over there at the Maidens field, and then Thursday here at the Swamp, and then Friday fill it up at the Swamp.
I'm excited. Back home and the band going on, the pregame and all that. If you've never been to a Charlton football game, I know I go through it every year, but it's a unique high school experience here at home.
It really is. I mean, with the the band is such a big part of it. It's high school football. It's supposed to be, the band, the football, the cheerleaders, the parents, the families, the community, and that sort of thing. It's not only, it's probably the biggest, these 5 regular season home games are some of the bigger social events in our community, really. I mean, people come and socialize and see one another, and other than church on Sunday, Friday nights in the Swamp's probably the next biggest thing. So we hope to have a big crowd. We hope to have a vocal crowd. The kids really enjoy it when the crowd's really into it with them, and have a lot of fun, and hopefully we have another good outcome.
Well, we have the new programs Friday.
The new programs will be here, so bring your $5 for that. Also at the front gate, we're going to be selling, I think, some old game jerseys for not very much. We're going to sell some of the camp t-shirts we had this year, the great camp t-shirts, say expect to win on the back, Charlton County Football 2017 on the front. And we also have, with the players' names on the back, a bunch of practice jerseys from the Jacksonville Jaguars they gave us. So if you're a Jaguar fan, or if you're a particular fan of a certain Jaguar player, we'll have those down there, and those will be real inexpensive also, just trying to make a little bit of money for the quarterback club and that sort of thing. Also, if you want to become a member of the quarterback club, Brian Hewling has I think that's one of the hats right there. Brian Hewling has really nice hats up at State Farm Insurance, and it's $50 to become a member for a year. And all that money goes right back into the program for the kids to do things with them. So if you hopefully we can grow that a little bit and have that sort of thing. And of course, locker plaques, we're still putting those up, and we'll do that forever. That's a good fundraiser. Plus, I think it's a good opportunity for people in the community to put something up to either in memorial, in honor of, or memory of, or anything like that. certain group of players, family members, whatever. We have a lot of these plaques up in here of people who weren't even players. They were just part of the program, fans of the program, and so forth. People put up, and we really appreciate it. And that's $200. It can be tax deductible to the quarterback club. Just see Brian Hewling or Marcy Turner up there at State Farm Insurance, and they'll set you up with a membership. They'll set you up with one of these plaques, or you can get a hold of me about the plaques. I'm easy to get a hold of them every day at the high school.
Did you hit in the court on the lockers?
Yep.
You got the lockers? All right. Well, Coach, anything else you want to hit on before we go?
Just hope to have a large crowd over here Friday night and have a good time.
All right. Well, we'll see everybody Maidenfield tomorrow. Travel to Yulee tomorrow. And we're carrying the Maidens game live tomorrow, so if you want to go watch the Braves, you can watch both on your phones. Then Thursday, we're carrying Bteam live here at 5. And then Friday night, y'all pack the house, the Swamp, right here at home versus Appleton County.
Yep.
Thank you for watching the Coach Mac Show. We'll see y'all tomorrow evening live from Maidensfield.
Hey, Indian fans. Did you know you're eligible to join United First Federal Credit Union? We are your hometown financial institution offering services such as online banking, mobile deposit, free checking, and much more. And if you're in the market to purchase a vehicle, our auto loan rates start as low as 2.49%. We are conveniently located at 3773 2nd Street in Folkestone. Rates and terms subject to conditions, federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender.
Okefenokee Rural Electric Membership Corporation has been providing quality electric service at a competitive price to residential, commercial, and industrial customers in southeast Georgia and northeast Florida since 1939. For tips and advice on how to save electricity and stretch your energy dollars, call 1-800-262-5131 and speak to your marketing representative. We are a cooperative owned by those we serve.